All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome into the LA Sports Brotherhood. It's me, Brian, here with my brother Matthew. And as you watch this, we are less than 24 hours away from USC kicking off the 2024 college football season against LSU. We've talked ad nauseum about this. This is the biggest game of the year to me. It determines a lot about what to expect from this team. And it's difficult, neutral site, first game with the new quarterback. It's not going to be everything, but it's going to be a lot. I think the style of the defense is going to be determined. It's going to really show through what's going on. Matt, as we get into this, we're going to break it down, 3 things on offense, 3 things on defense, like the most important things. So you can take it away with what you got.
Yeah, so I'm going to start out on the defensive end. The first point is going to be to stop the run. LSU, they've literally said they're going to run the ball down our throats. And this is an SEC team. If our D-line can, be physical, if we can just stop the run at an okay rate, as long as we don't get gashed, we can win the game. If we stop the run, we will win this game. The second one is going to be the tackle. We're going to need to tackle in space. The linebackers are going to need to tackle in the box. If we can tackle, we'll have a good shot at winning this game. We can't look terrible. It sounds funny, but we just can't look awful where Cobb's running the wrong way, where the secondary is missing tackles, where Pepe's getting blown back. We got to stand our ground to this SEC team that is going to try to run the ball. So those 2 points kind of go together. Stop the run and tackle. Those are the 2 most important things. My third thing is going to be the pressure of the quarterback. Now, this is going to be tough because they have, like I mentioned, they have really, really good tackles. Like truly, and they're both going to be NFL guys. If we can create pressure for their first-year quarterback, because he's in the same boat as Miller Moss. He's been there a while. This is his first season as a starter. It's going to be pretty loud there. It's obviously a high-stakes game. If we can pressure the quarterback and get him off his game a little bit, that is going to be huge. So, yeah, those are my 3 things. Stop the run, pressure the quarterback, and tackle. If we can stop the run, if we can tackle well, we will win this game. I promise you that. But it's going to take the offense, obviously. So, what do you got for offense?
Yeah, so one, I want to look at receivers beating their matchups. Looking through the LSU boards, it's been really interesting seeing the areas where they think the team can struggle, and defensive backs are actually pretty high on that list. You are super high on this SC receiver room. I think the talent is incredible. This is the game to show that they could beat these one-on-one coverages, because number 2 and 3 are kind of mixed together. 2 is the run scheme. I need to see a changed run scheme for SC. You have to be able to run the ball against this team because they have the best. LSU has one of, if not the best, edge rushers in the country. They don't play him as an edge rusher, which is why he kind of struggled last year. But Harold Perkins is elite. If he's coming at the quarterback in a rush, he is one of the most efficient pass rushers in all of college football. As a freshman, he was the most efficient pass rusher in the SEC. He's really good. But like I said, they have him dropping back a little bit. So that's part of it. So 2, run scheme needs to be changed. I talked about this a little bit. I haven't gotten into it all the way because I kind of want to forget about it. USC first year was Travis Dye and Austin Jones, both significantly less talented than Marshawn Lloyd. They had an elite run game. Granted, it's because the offensive line was better and more experienced, but they were running downhill. I genuinely don't remember a single run where Marshawn Lloyd was not running sideline to sideline just to receive the ball. If they can go run downhill and go vertical, which is the way you run in the first place, I don't understand why they would change it up. But if that's different, I think it's a massive, massive part of the game because you have to run the football, especially with this team. You have to control the pace and keep defenses honest, because if you get immense pressure blitzes constantly because they know you can't really run the ball and to exploit those holes, this offensive line is going to need to prove that they could stand up, and I'm not entirely confident in that. So change run scheme 1, and then 3, like I said, the offensive line. Elite pass rushers. They don't have an incredible, at least in terms of, according to LSU fans, they're not super confident in their interior defensive line. Shocker, neither are we. Like you said, this is a very interesting, almost a mirror matchup. They're super confident in Nussmeier, the quarterback, because he had a big bowl game after their star quarterback left. The similarities are crazy. But yeah, they're not super confident in their interior. Their edge rushers, they're very, very confident in. But if you can hold up on the line and the receivers beat their matchups, they're not going to, the coverage sacks won't be a thing. I don't think the offensive the play calling is going to require a lot of time. I think the timing routes are going to be very constant. I think it's going to be mental clock. You're 2 seconds in, get rid of it, or like run or throw it away, like clock it down. I think all of that is going to come together to be. This needs to be a quick hitting offense that could really kind of pound the ball and run time off the clock, and then allow Zach Branch, Stu Robinson to get vertical and like beat players. Jacoby Lane too. Like the weapons are there, the script is there, but LSU has some genuine guys you have to contend with, like from an offensive standpoint. Harold Perkins being by far the biggest one. So yeah, protect tackles need to step up, protect the quarterback, run game, and receivers. Let's beat your man. That I think those are the three biggest things offensively.
Yeah, I think there's like a very clear path, offensively to be successful, and it's very possible. It's going to be to run the ball, like you said. Their interior tackles really aren't that great. I saw like a couple Twitter fights about comparing, and an LSU fan gave defensive tackles to USC on which was better, and that really shocked me.
Yeah.
So if we can just run it, just run the ball. So like I said, there's a clear path. It's going to be to run the ball early, get Woody going, be successful, and then start pass the ball. It needs to be a quick hitting offense, like you said. It needs to be. Perkins is a madman, and we don't. Neither of us feel great about Murphy at right tackle. So get the ball out quick. Get it to Makai. Get it to these four playmakers that I'm just so high on. And my biggest thing for offense, I agree with every point you said. One of those four receivers has to have a game where everyone around the country is like, "Oh my God, who is that?" I'm talking 80 plus yards, a touchdown. Everyone will be watching this game. It is the only game. There's no NFL.
Yeah.
It's primetime ranked matchup on a Sunday. One of those wide receivers needs to make a name for themselves for the country. We all know how good they are. Have a breakout game.
Yeah, I we talked about it in our little YouTube short. I think Makai really can be that guy, especially because I think he's probably the best route runner, excuse me, as of right now. And if you can get these guys open, or get open for yourself, which is something that didn't happen at all last season, it's a big thing. Yeah, just to the point about the tackles, because I do think Pregnon and Noah as the starting guards, I think we can get a really good push. It's if we run downhill and get guys going forward. I think that's like we could really open up some holes, because I'm looking up a little. I like going to fan sites and like blogs for other teams, just because they kind of they're way more tapped in than I am. I looked at the top 13 players for this upcoming season. 2 edge rushers and then Harold Perkins are in the top 13, and there's 1 defensive tackle, and it's like he could be important. He struggled last year. Like that's like they're really strong on the edge. And then Harold Perkins functions as an edge rusher as well, even though he's technically a linebacker. And then up the middle, there's not a linebacker on this list. Same way there's not a linebacker on the SC list. Like whoever wins between the hash marks, I think is going to win this game. And that's usually how it works for just football. But for this is such a like. I think both these teams are very high powered in skill positions, because edge is like functionally a defensive skill position to me, because you're playing like you're playing a single way. If whoever has the most will up the middle is going to win. And that's something that's a little scary as an SC fan, because SC has not had that since Lincoln Riley. It's not just Lincoln Riley's fault. SC has not had that in a long time. But now I think they at least have the structure to be able to achieve that. And again, I know I was taking up for the offense this time. The linebackers going to be unbelievably important for USC, and that's something that it will always scare me until they get good linebackers.
I honestly, I'm gonna call them out, EMA and Cobb. Like the game is kind of on you. You know what I mean? Like those guys need to perform.
Yeah, like dudes like Kobe Pepe and stuff. Actually, I think I haven't looked into or seen anything about who's running with the ones. I'm assuming it's Pepe because he's the biggest dude.
It's gonna be
like
him or Gavin Mayer, the transfer.
Okay. Oh, I have heard about him too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Linebackers, I will say, because I was a linebacker, it's tough to say you have to stop the run, because if you're getting a guard coming at you, and then there's like another puller going through the hole, and the defensive line can't just hold their block, it's hell for linebackers. So I understand that, but you have to be in position. So interior defensive linemen and linebackers work in tandem. The line has to do well for linebackers to be able to do their job. But the reason I'm scared is, at least not for EMA, I haven't watched too much film on him. But with Cobb, when the line did do their job, this few times they did, Cobb just wasn't anywhere he was supposed to be. So that's why I don't have too much faith in him. But I do
Yeah.
think this is a game that is very winnable.
The last thing I'll say on the defensive front, Shelby better get a lot of snaps. They,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, they have incredible tackles. I love Jamal Muhammad. I don't think he's going to be able to record a sack going against an NFL tackle like that. He just doesn't have the traits. Let Shelby get after him. He does have the NFL traits. Let's see what we got out of him.
Yeah, the talent we might have to go talent for talent on this. Like Shelby is a little raw. I think his body he last year his body was very wiry. I think he's definitely put on good weight, so I think he could hold up a lot more. But like literally, like you just look at Braylon Shelby compared to Jamal Muhammad. Jamal Muhammad was way more productive last season, but he's sawed off, got shorter arms. Braylon Shelby got long ass arms, got long torso. He can get that push, that fist into the tackle's chest, like that's stuff that you can't teach. And I think Muhammad has kind of started to transition, not out of edge or like the rushing linebacker, but he's more like he can stand up a lot more. And ironically, Grinch making him drop in coverage last season probably will help him for an actual scheme where he's playing more of a stand-up linebacker as opposed to playing with a nickel. If you're playing against a team like Wisconsin or so a team that you know is going to run the ball a lot, he has that ability. So I think you can get both of them on the field at the same time. Because I do think Muhammad's a good football player. I think it's just tough for him physically. Kind of Max Williams-ish, honestly, which is a name people probably don't want to hear. But Williams was a very solid football player. He just was too small for the position he was playing.
Yeah, another guy, Anthony Lucas.
Mm,
You were from the SEC, man. They have been raving about you all off season. Please show us in week one. But
that's huge, yeah.
anyways, if you watched our schedule prediction, you know what's gonna happen. But we do got to give our official prediction for this game. I think they're gonna win. I think it's gonna be a close game. Don't think it'll be in like the 40s, 50s. I think it'll be in the 30 areas, maybe even high 20s. So my final prediction was 34-28 USC.
Yeah, I'm not good with like literal number predictions, like score predictions, just because I don't like doing math. I do agree with you. If this game is in like if the final score and one team has scored like high 40s, I don't think it's going to be USC. If it's a high scoring game, it seems counterintuitive because USC has a more high powered offense. But if it's like that, I think it means they lost control. So I do think honestly, even I guess I'll get into some scores like a 28-24 type game. USC can win. I think if it gets to even like 30, the mid 30s, something like that, USC can win that game. I think USC will win that game, and I think that's how it's going to end up going. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this. We're going to be back with a preview for every single game this season. We're going to be back with reviews, like recaps, talk about what's going on. We're going to have specific little film reviews and stuff. I'm really excited for this season, not just because I think USC is going to shock a lot of people, but also because we're going to have a lot of stuff coming out. So if you enjoyed, subscribe, make sure you stick around. Thanks for watching. Go Trojans.